Ecosystems are full of living and non-living things that interact. Some of the non-living things that interact with ecosystems include the amount of sunlight, rainfall, and wind an area gets, as well as the altitude of the ecosystem. These physical factors influence what plants and animals can live in an area. The more different kinds of organisms in an area, the higher its biodiversity. Biodiversity is the number of different species in an area. Different kinds of ecosystems have different levels of biodiversity. Ecosystems near the equator get more sunshine for longer periods of time, and if they also get more rainfall, as in rainforest ecosystems, they will have a correspondingly high biodiversity. It makes sense then that Arctic ecosystems have a much lower biodiversity. All of the different kinds of organisms in one area are called a community. The biodiversity of a community of organisms changes over time whenever there is a disturbance. Disturbances like fire, flood, or earthquakes can kill off some portion of a community and force the community to rebuild itself. This isn't all bad. Some forest ecosystems, for instance, rely on regular fire disturbance in order to remain healthy. We call the rebuilding of an ecosystem after a disturbance succession, and it happens in a predictable way in all types of ecosystems. The only real constant in nature is change, and healthy communities of organisms are constantly changing. The biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem affect how large populations within the community can become. Remember, a population is all of the organisms of one species in an area. The number of organisms in a population that an ecosystem can support is called its carrying capacity. Food, shelter, and hunting territory are all things that can affect carrying capacity. Any biotic or abiotic thing that limits the carrying capacity is called a limiting factor. If there were only one more of that thing, food maybe, there could be more organisms in that population. Both biodiversity and carrying capacity can be changed when the biotic or abiotic factors in an ecosystem change. An invasive species of plant might drastically decrease biodiversity and limit food availability, but so might a really cold winter. In ecosystems, everything influences everything else, and lots of these things change in the normal course of events, making ecology a complex subject. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.